I'm a member of the NFLPA, the National Football League Players Association, talking to the NFL owners and Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the National Football League. I'm here to talk to you about concussions and the impact they have on players, how I believe it is going to end the game of football, and why that is important for America, why that is important for you, um, and to propose a solution to how we can prevent that from happening. So let's get started. Football is embedded into the fabric of America. Last year's Super Bowl had 114.4 million televisions across the United States tuning in to see it. That smashed the record. The previous record was 112.2 million televisions for any TV show, any TV slot. And that previous record was set by last year's Super Bowl. While America is obsessed with football, I contend that football will end in the next 20 years if action is not done immediately to protect its players. So let's dive into that a little bit. Concussions in football are at an all-time high. From 2005 to 2014, 92 high school athletes died from on-the-field injuries suffered to the head. In the NFL, concussions are up 32% from the year before. Last year, NFL players suffered 271 concussions. Let's take a look at what concussions are and what happens. Just for a little context here, let's take a look at some animals in nature. Woodpeckers constantly smash their head into the bark of a tree looking for food and nutrients. They have about 100,000 shock absorbers in their skulls to keep their brain from ricocheting back and forth. So too do bighorn rams, who ram their heads into each other, competing for mates. They have nearly 250,000 shock absorbers inside of their skulls, preventing their brain from hitting the skull when they hit each other in the head. Humans do not have a single shock absorber known to be found in their skull. When a human being suffers a blow to the head, the brain ricochets inside and bleeding starts, trauma ensues, and depending on the intensity of the hit, mild traumatic brain injury, MTBI, will immediately set in. This will shut off the injured part of the brain, immediately disabling it and impairing cognitive ability. This impairment of the brain is shown to have a lingering and long-term effect, and we still don't even really understand how severe these effects can be. A study done by the Brain Research Institute in West Virginia showed that 91 deceased NFL players who died before the age of 55 had brains, 87 of those 91 players were shown to display the cognitive ability and the brain health of a 90-year-old man. This is due in large part to CTE. CTE can only be diagnosed post-mortem. We can only diagnose it after the patient has died. And NFL football players, after doing autopsies of their brain, are shown to have highly saturated brains with CTE in them. Basically, what CTE does is whether you have a subconcussive or non-concussive hit, your brain will start displaying signs of CTE, and the CTE slowly deteriorates your brain, and it's similar to Alzheimer's, except it is a lot more severe and a lot more quick. So anyway, the NFL is a multi-billion-dollar industry. The college football playoffs and the college football season is a multi-million-dollar business. High school football is beloved by people all over the country. So based on the people who stand to profit from the existence of football, expecting the sport to voluntarily go away just because the severity and the danger of it are at an all-time high, that's not realistic. Therefore, we need to look at how we can protect players and thus protect the game and make it safer. The first solution that I would pose is we need to set rules, much like baseball has with steroids, to remove an athlete from competition permanently if they suffer a certain number of concussions. It's been shown that anywhere from 3 to 5 concussions can destroy an athlete's future life. And not only are we protecting the athlete by making some of these rules, but protecting their families, their kids, their spouses. We're making it possible for them to live a life outside of football, which I contend is more important. We also need to change the rules of the game. Head-to-head collisions are the number one source of concussions in the game of football. And there needs to be more severe penalties and more severe action taken on players who maliciously try and destroy the person across the ball from them. And they try and deliver these big and vicious hits where, maybe that's going to be great for the play at the moment, but down the road, if you're suffering from CTE and you're dying at the age of 55, maybe that hit wasn't the best thing in mind. So those are some solutions I have. That's what my white paper is on. Saving the game of football. It's important to me, and it's important to America. So that's what I got.